Incredible. I've traveled all over, but I've never seen a city quite like this.
DYNEVRON. The Enclave's capital city. The architecture was built to accommodate the Enclave's largest archons.
Ah, good. I thought I'd shrunk using the loom gate.
The city looks as though it's been completely abandoned.
Let's break down the search. Who's got ideas?
Government and archives will establish a history. The closest government buildings can be found in the steppes. You're clearly in Upper DYNEVRON, so according to our map, it shouldn't be far.
People need supplies. Supplies are in markets. And the markets in Lower DYNEVRON.
And there's the bastion on the edge of the city. The military would be involved in any disaster response, and the surge certainly counts. 3 good leads. Bryn, it's your call. According to the old maps, that path leads to the Bastion, their military stronghold. This must be the bastion.
A large military was never the Enclave's priority. They did not aspire to conquest. Instead, they focused on defense. Their core interest was protecting not only their civilians, but their cutting-edge innovations.
Ark of the Living Flame. Lightly armored compared to the others, but expect things to get hot.
of champions.
Champions?
The most accomplished weavers were honored with statues.
Kind of looks like you, Arya. Could it be...
My mother, Shireen. I knew she was a celebrated weaver before the Surge.
Your mother has a statue?
I suppose she does. unpredictable and powerful.
Hadn't hit so hard, the steps would lead to the spire. Alas. Elected representatives would convene there, including the Eye, the Enclave's leader.
Imagine a time when Weavers had our own governing body.
Odd. That ark's just standing there. No sign of damage, but there's something lodged in the back plate. It's a thingy.
So technical. I'll take a look later.
Maximilian Arden, founder of the Enclave. Judging by the size of this statue, he certainly wasn't shy about his accomplishments.
That arch should lead you to the lower city.
A body. Ahead. Outfit looks like our spying friends.
So, it's a uniform.
There's a note in his pouch. New drop. Market loom gate, it says. But... wait. Under his mask, he's... scorched. Aurea, this looks like the wound on your wing. Only... it's... everywhere.
But there's no tangle there.
No, it's clear.
Concerning.
I think we should look into that drop his note mentioned.
Especially if it's near a loom gate.
There's a small compartment here, hidden in the statue, already open and empty.
I often heard that as you entered the perch, the bustle of DYNEVRON would begin to crescendo until it peaked in the market. The Tattered Mountain. I've heard so many stories of this tavern. Always rowdy.
A sledgeworm can throw things over 3 times its size.
These streets running in parallel are known as the Three Sisters, but many weavers hosteled here.
Another kinetic strand.
Before the Surge, the DYNEVRON market was famous across the Maida. Caravans left the Enclave with enchanted treasures.
Broker's Arch, the market loom gate.
Same spot as the last statue. Struck a vein, as my dad used to say.
Wait, I was half listening. Are you hurt?
Metaphor. Her dad was a miner.
We've got a tally sheet of some sort. Series of numbers below. And a bunch of garbled text below that. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I might.
Soldiers could see them leagues from vigilant force. The patrollers would easily spot incoming attacks.
Far jump, even for you.
Too bad I don't have wings.
Feathers wouldn't suit your face. Lane, any idea what that pillar is?
I did find a reference to the Trial of Fires, a rite of passage for new Bastion Sworn before they could cross over to their new life.
Crossing over? Trial of Fires? Unsubtle. Bryn, what happens if you make it hot? Nice work.
Pretty involved. Still, you'll have no trouble when it's your turn to head back out in the field.
Yeah. Be sure to scour the Bastion.
The keep housed the Enclave's war room. Matters of high security were discussed inside. Looks like a war room.
Looks like the recorded minutes of the meetings that took place here. The last one is dated roughly 26 years ago.
What was it about?
A lot of information was torn off. Casualties got too high due to something they blotted over with ink. And the military commander should execute a defensive measure called asylum. Asylum. What could that be?
Scour the rest of the keep and find out. Few sights are as impressive as a Highland ice claw mid-flight on a clear day. The way the sun reflects off its wings, majestic.
A frost strand. Happy to weave that into your mantle.
sort of access beneath the keep.
Military workshop for enchanters.
The Enclave never used magic to expand its borders, but had to defend itself.
Against nations that thought otherwise.
Exactly.
Research notes from about 40 years ago, probably from an enchanter that worked here, observing arc degradation. Looks like there was an expected and normal amount of degradation observed in the arcs following the surge. But once the arcs start killing civilians, it says this is a systemic failure. What could that mean?
It means the arcs weren't sent to attack us as a means of defense.
They've lost control over them.
A final note scrawled on the cover page. The Archons will be no use in Asylum's execution.
the garrison. Enclave soldiers would have slept here during training.
Private chambers, perhaps belonging to the Bastion's commander.
A letter to the commander from Khan Stanield. He signed his title beneath. The Eye. Times have necessitated an information blackout. The cause of the casualties must be purged from even the Bastion's most secure records. Furthermore, military personnel are to be separated from civilians, unless facilitating the evacuation from DYNEVRON. If word of the problem's true severity spreads across the populace, panic will be uncontrollable. It is imperative that asylum succeeds.
Paints a stark picture.
All these documents you're finding will be illuminating. I might be able to piece this together soon. But whatever asylum is, it sounds like a large-scale military endeavor. We should find more evidence of it than just a few papers.
I need to keep scouting the Bastion, then. key swatch. There's a note. It says, Commander, it's ready. Use the harness to execute Asylum.
Another key swatch. Wonder if it will lead us to whatever the harness is.
Only one way to find out.
With the documents you found in the Bastion already, wherever that key swatch leads must be a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I'll use it when I'm ready then.
This must be where the military stored supplies and weapons before the surge.
The officer's gate was guarded by arcs. Access through the loom gate was restricted.
For a band of weavers who just discovered a long-lost city, you don't look very excited.
The prospect of imminent death has put a dampener on things.
While you were out, I found a note. A warning, actually.
We suspect our Hearthsider friend snuck back into the camp.
The letter cautions us that a phenomenon referred to as the Flood is hot on our heels. The Flood is essentially a torrential wave of deadly raw magic that will completely overtake the outskirts and DYNEVRON. Apparently this is a cyclical disaster preceded by extreme weather. Anyone caught in it will die, meaning us.
The tangle-scorched body you found must have been killed by it.
Hence, we're taking the warning seriously.
Honestly, that's not the news I was hoping to hear. But it doesn't change anything.
You did hear Dom say torrential wave of raw magic, right?
Yes. I also heard cyclical, and that it was a Hearthsider who warned us about it. Which means our goal of finding out what happened to the Hearthsiders hasn't changed. If anything, we're one step closer to it.
If this flood is cyclical, it means the Hearthsiders are surviving it somehow. Maybe they have a safe haven on high ground, or enchantments of some kind. All this means is we need to track down the Hearthsiders now more than ever. As though...
As though our lives depend on it.
Yeah, that.
A dead body and a hidden cache of materials. It sounds like the start of a Skuld's tale.
All we need is a saber conveniently placed on the mantle and we're set.
More seriously, you said you had an idea about that sheet?
Before signing on with Aurea, I worked the relief ships between my home and Udea. A Don Brenning initiative, mind you. Our neighbors across the bay love to claim otherwise. The dockers always wanted big loads for the cranes. But certain things, like, say, herbs, you'd only ship in small quantities. Over the years, the convoys developed a system where you'd have runners and haulers. Runners would make quick trips and bring small goods to a drop. Haulers would pack the cargo together and make longer hauls to the docks.
You think we're looking at a similar system, then?
Absolutely I do. It's the sheet you found. That's a requisition for a runner if I've ever seen one. And note how it says Scout Group 23 here. That's a lot of groups.
Which means my mysterious observer is part of a large organization.
And an active one.
When you say requisition...
Think of it like an order. Bread, cheese, carrots. But left at the drop for the runner to prioritize before the next gather. It takes forethought. There's necessary lag between the order going out and being filled. But any logistician worth their salt can see a few months ahead and plan accordingly.
How can you be sure the Enclave folks would use similar methods to yours?
It's centuries old, and you don't fix what wasn't broken, especially in a crisis. And from the state of the capital, they were definitely in crisis.
Do the items they're asking for seem important?
No, I don't think so. Lane thinks the garble at the bottom might be, but not the order itself. They're prioritizing fabricated items over raw goods.
What would that indicate?
At a guess, our Hearthsiders have lost, or were expecting to lose, production capacity and wanted backup parts.
Kaz, I have to ask. How does it feel having this specific piece of information at hand right when we need it?
Why?
Because if we suddenly needed to know about Calnhaven or export quotas, I would feel pretty special.
How is that a thing you know exactly?
Dad was a miner. A really good one.
Promise you won't tell the others?
I can manage that.
Then yes. Yes, it feels amazing.
What do we do with this information then?
At the bottom of the sheet, there's that series of numbers and letters. Those would represent drop points. I did some digging with Lane, and they're referring to coordinates on a map of the Enclave that was made just before the surge. L7 is part of the capital. See? That's where you found this drop. So, I'm inferring that these other marked coordinates are just as likely to have drops.
I'll check them then.
If nothing else, we could find materials for our own stocks. But I'm hoping there's more.
Maybe where our Hearthsiders are hiding.
Also, Lane was looking over the orders and wanted to talk to you about the writing along the bottom.
More drops, and talk to Lane. Got it.
An abandoned city like DYNEVRON. It must be full of supplies we could use. Do you think you could maybe grab some things for me?
You know I'm happy to help. What do we need?
I've noticed there are more arcs in the city.
So have I.
The upside is, according to Lane's logs, the ones carrying shields could be scavenged for assault. A metal we could use to reinforce all kinds of gear and facilities. A little heat would help in prying it off the arcs.
All right. I'll come back as soon as I have some.
Great. Thanks, Bryn. So, spare a little rassault for a good cause?
Right here.
Perfect. I was actually thinking it would be good to start stockpiling some Akala hide. The nights get pretty cold here, and we could use it to reinforce our tents and blankets for warmth.
I'll be back in no time.
Thanks, Bryn. Please, hurry. Any luck hunting?
That should be enough for a few blankets and tents.
Oh, that's so great. I don't suppose you would mind getting something else for me?
Yeah, no problem. If you've still got room in the caravan.
I'm just thinking, in an unknown climate, we don't know how fast the seasons might turn here, and as I said, it gets pretty cold at night. We should stock softwood for warmth. Like, a lot of it. To keep our hearth lit, you know?
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm confused. The Akala hide I just brought you isn't enough?
It's a start, for sure, but we need to be more prepared. Lots of softwood could really save us in a pinch.
Kaz, I've been bringing you all this stuff because I thought it would help you feel better. But honestly, you seem even more anxious now. Are you all right?
No, I'm fine. I really am. I just need to make sure the Weaver Band is okay.
Right. It's just... I'm trying to make sure you're okay.
Please. I really need your help with this.
All right. I guess I'll be back then.
Thanks, Bryn. Come back with it soon. Did you manage to find enough softwood?
If you need more than this, the Don Brennick Pine Preservationists will come for me. Here you go.
Oh, great.
You don't sound as happy as I thought you'd be.
It's just that what I'm realizing is the Weaver Band really needs Drake scales. Like, give or take 90 to be safe.
Wait, 90 Ash Peak Drake scales?
Yeah, not the easiest thing to get, but maybe instead of fighting drakes, you could find one of their nests. I think they shed, right?
Kaz, I don't think drakes leave their nests unattended. This still sounds pretty dangerous. What could we possibly need 90 scales for?
Because... It's hard to explain, but... Please, 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 can you trust me? I just really need you to trust me.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Casbin, what's going on? Are we outfitting an army?
Because it's... I just think we could...
Don't you think Bryn's got you pretty well stocked at this point?
But... You're right. I got carried away. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks for all your help. Excuse me, I'm gonna put all this away now.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
If you say so. Good work, Bryn. We'll take care of the rest of the...
You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
Yes, I can see that.
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Can you give me a quick rundown on encoding, so I'm sure I'm following?
A favourite topic of mine? Cipher is a blanket term for securing text so that only an intended recipient can read it. They range from reasonably simple swaps of letters to complex changes that require devices or key sheets to solve. But, as notes quickly added to supply orders, the codes we are dealing with were simple by necessity.
What's your background with ciphers, Lane?
There's something of a hobby for me. Specifically, breaking them.
A fan of knowing secrets.
More a fan of information being shared freely. But also, yes, Eudean nobility relies on them heavily, and being privy to the dirty laundry of the nobles is advantageous.
You're sure we're dealing with a code and not just doodles?
While possible, it's not likely that someone would scrawl nonsense on the bottom of official orders. Why do so? To practice calligraphy? To refine their writing? Perhaps. But this is decidedly not calligraphy. Ergo, cipher.
Any initial guesses as to what the cipher says?
Hard to say exactly, but what we know is these orders were for Scout Group 23. So let's assume there is an organized group of Hearthsiders arranging these drops. At a guess, this was an unofficial channel of information passed to those in the field.
Information that would be invaluable to us.
Agreed. Why encode text if it's not significant?
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. You can work on it like any other research project. DYNEVRON is a treasure trove for any lawkeeper. The history this place contains. It's almost overwhelming, or it would be for a lesser academic.
But not for you.
No. Certainly I can pass through decades of lost tomes and solve the greatest mystery of our time. What happened to the Enclave? Why wouldn't I succeed where other researchers who have spent far longer immersed in Weaver culture have failed?
Well, you've certainly got something they don't.
I do?
Me? Kidding. You've got access to the Enclave.
That's exactly it, isn't it? It's the opportunity of a lifetime. What if I don't make the most of it?
All you can do is try. It's all any of us can do.
I suppose you're right. After seeing the Spire, I can't help but wonder how effective the Enclave's governance was. Did their system work? Was it better than what we have across the Maida? Many questions present themselves.
Do any answers present themselves?
Well, we have the raw facts. If I recall correctly, their government was run by a council that varied in size through the years. At the top of the pecking order were the eye, the spindle, and the axle. All representatives voted in by the council members, or various guilds. The documentation currently available to me is rather lacking in detail, though. The succession processes, for example, are unclear.
How's it compare to what you have at home?
Undoubtedly more functional, I'll give it that. The Udean Federation is, to put it plainly, a mess. To the point where our unofficial national dish is a specially prepared meringue that lasts approximately 10 seconds before collapsing.
You alright?
I know we're talking politics, but truth be told, all I can think about now is food.
Kaz might have gathered some herbs. You could try sweet-talking her into mixing something up.
In that case, I think I'll go bother her for dinner. You can't do archival work on an empty stomach, after all.
The architecture in DYNEVRON is stunning. It's clear that the Enclave builders were talented. What I wouldn't give to meet them. To think crafters here had stability in their lives, mentors to learn from, and the ability to focus purely on their craft. Such a luxury. And it shows in their work.
Where's that weaver spirit? Learning on the road is what we do. Navigating new challenges and experiences.
The Hearthsiders once had a different way. One that has been lost to us since the Surge.
DYNEVRON was home to so many before. I wish I could have seen it full of weavers.
Who knows? Maybe Bryn of Carnhaven will go down in history as the one to restore the Enclave to what it once was.
I like your optimism.
If you succeed, I suppose we'll all have a choice to make.
What choice is that?
Do we stick to life on... You know, a quality you share with Aurea is your ability to keep a steady eye on the horizon.
Any comparison to Aurea is flattering. But how do you mean exactly?
The rest of us couldn't help but feel, thrown, to say the least, upon hearing about this flood that might kill us all. But you cut through the fear immediately, and recognized that, flood or no flood, our goal stays the same.
I am a little afraid. But I don't see how worrying accomplishes anything.
Exactly. You stay focused on the bigger picture, and you don't let the details throw you off course, however catastrophic they might be.
We will find the Hearthsiders in time.
I know. I have faith.
Bryn, I'm worried. We keep pushing deeper into the Enclave. When do you think we'll start working on a way out of here?
We're the first people through the Veil in almost half a century. Don't you think it's worth taking a look around before rushing out?
Arcs are attacking you at every corner. The surviving Weavers don't have control over this place. Why should we stay?
I think we owe it to the Hearthsiders to try to help.
You're right. It's not like we have a way out, anyway.
I have asked our third friend to join us since he demonstrated such insight with the loom gates.
It was just a lucky guess.
Nonsense. The loom gate works. Enough said.
Gents, the, thingy?
Dom said you found it attached to an arc. One that was shut down.
Mm-hmm. No sign of damage, but this part came off easily.
It's safe to assume it wasn't part of the original construction, then. The arcs are famously durable.
Bryn, think back. How does it compare to the arc we found outside the Veil?
exactly the same. Completely motionless. At least, at first.
We should take another look at our newest friend, then. Care to do the honors?
Same place? Same place.
Well observed, Sev. You were correct.
Just a lucky guess.
Up. No more of that. Lady, gentlemen, I think we can confidently assert conspiracy.
2 devices does start a pattern.
And a pattern that must predate the Surge, since we found a device that was outside the Veil.
True. That gives us a what and a when, but leaves a whom, a how, and a why.
And how many arcs have been affected?
It does follow that if we found 2, there could be more.
I'll keep an eye out for tampered arcs.
Some may have restarted on their own, like the one we followed through the Veil.
They're going to fight back, aren't they?
It does seem to be, our luck, yes. I must ask, to step from here all the way to the capital, what did it feel like?
Arriving in the city felt exhilarating, I guess. If that's what you mean.
No. DYNEVRON's amazing, we know. I'm asking about the sensation of being transported such a distance. So far, you'd only done tiny hops through the loom gates. Was there any notable difference crossing hundreds of leagues?
Truthfully, there wasn't much of a sensation at all. A flash of light and I was in DYNEVRON. That's it.
Oh, I see. I guess I was hoping for a little more. It's all right. There will be bigger discoveries.
If you're lucky, maybe on the 100th time through, I'll get unspooled.
That would not be ideal. Though it would be interesting. An expected abnormal amount of degradation in the aftermath of the Surge.
Looking over the notes from the Bastion.
Dated almost 40 years ago, contemporaneous with the Surge. The enchanter who created the notes was quite junior. Most people who had actually designed arcs had died in the Surge, it seems.
The best we have is a novice's musings?
The observations appear accurate, and the enchanter was careful not to draw any ill-founded conclusions. But good methodology cannot replace experience. It makes sense now that the Enclave lost control of their own constructs.
If we could help the Hearthsiders get on their feet, do you think they could regain control of the arcs?
Anyone who knew anything about the Ark's core design is long dead. A particularly innovative enchanter might have some luck with minor malfunctions. But the Arcs aren't simply shut down or stumbling blindly in fields they once farmed. They've become violent, presumably even against their creators, and that won't be solved by something as simple as reapplying their grease.
There's no hope of regaining control.
With enough dedication, time, and research, anything is possible, but it won't be easy. Don't stay your blade just yet.
The arc we followed through the Veil wasn't hostile. Any new ideas on what makes it different?
No new leads. Maybe we'll uncover more as you continue to explore DYNEVRON, but... we do know our little friend is quite resilient to magic in general. That certainly could have contributed.
The letters were untouched, but the Eye blotted out a lot of information from other documents I collected in the Bastion. Do you think the Enclave's leader was trying to hide the Ark hostility from his own people?
I'm not sure how you could hide the fact that constructs taller than a building have gone on a rampage. Still, in times of crisis, paranoid governments have tried to bury all manner of scandals. And the Enclave certainly seems paranoid.
I guess there's still a lot of arcs smashing in my future.
For the time being, at least. Unfortunate.
Yeah. If we can't use them to farm, they make great scrap.
Relegating the Enclave's premier innovation to scavenged parts isn't a victory we should be celebrating.
It's something.
33, 34, 35, 36. Gods, we'll need more than that.
Everything all right?
Oh, hey. Yeah, I just can't shake this feeling that we're not prepared.
Prepared for what?
I don't know. Maybe the masked figure stalking you, or the hostile Archons at every turn, or... Sorry, I'm doing it again. This isn't on you.
It's all good. But maybe you should take a break. After all, we can't plan for everything.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what we always said at sea.
You've mentioned the relief efforts before.
Earned my sea legs at 16, yes.
Wow. Isn't 16 pretty young for relief work?
I wanted to go at 15, but it took a year to convince my parents.
I can hardly believe they let you.
After months of begging, I wore them down. I loved life on the water. The rhythm of running a ship. The sun on your face during the day. The waves rocking you to sleep at night. And we were helping people. I think I miss the smell of the ocean the most.
Life on the ocean sounds pretty nice. I've always dreamed of sailing on a ship. Never had the opportunity, though.
I could take you sailing someday if you'd like.
I'd like that a lot.
My seafaring days feel pretty far behind me now. It's been a few years since I left to join Aurea.
Why did you stop?
Always mouths to feed. Critical supply shortages. Not just materials, but medicine. It felt like I could never do enough. So I walked away. I still feel guilty, though.
You probably helped more people in those years than many do in a lifetime. Needing to step away from the work doesn't erase all the good you did. There's nothing to feel guilty about.
I guess you're right. I just wish there was a way to turn off the little voice in my head telling me I should have done more.
Well, I'm happy to have a stern word with it anytime you like.
Thanks. I'd better get back to work, but this talk helped. Hey, Bryn. Sorry I got carried away with our errands.
It's okay, Kaz. What was going on with that, though? Are you alright?
Yeah. Sometimes there's so much to do, it's hard to keep my head on straight.
Maybe you should take a day to relax. Our ongoing disaster isn't going anywhere.
I don't know how anyone relaxes in here. What about you?
Me?
Yeah. What do you do to relax?
You know, the forest around the camp is actually pretty nice. When I need to clear my head, I just take a short walk. The sound of rushing water from the brook is lovely. It always brings me peace.
The growl of a calla stalking you in those treks doesn't pull you out of meditation?
Nah, it comes with the territory.
I'll stick to the campsite.
When all else fails, a nap always helps too.
For Ashar, maybe. As a Kashar, I don't need as much sleep as the rest of you.
Sure, but you need some kind of break from time to time, Kasmin.
I'll think about it.
Do you read a lot of Scald's Tales, Kaz?
I do, as a matter of fact. When I can find a transcription. But I'll read just about anything I can get my hands on.
Any favourite storytellers?
Eloisa Farthing. She's a local writer back home. Actually, a lot of her stories are set in Dunbrennig. That's what I like about them. No matter where I am in the world, I can curl up with passages describing our rainy summers or stormy winters. And it's like I'm home.
That's beautiful. Though the weather in Dunbrennig sounds terrible.
It is. What about you? Are you much of a reader?
can't say I am. I'd rather live the adventures myself than read about them.
I suppose that makes sense. Still, if you ever want to try getting into it, Sola, Lane, and I have something of an informal book club on the go. We can give you recommendations.
Good to know. I'm surprised Dom isn't involved in that too.
He was, but his invitation was rescinded. The three of us would like to maintain a soothing mood during our meetups. He got too excited and spilled red wine on the pages of our first read, so...
Ah. I see. How are you feeling about this whole Archon sabotage investigation, Sev?
I am unsettled. The thought of Arks being smuggled out of the Enclave makes me wonder what else was happening just before the surge.
It's pretty clear they were up to some stuff wildly over their collective heads. But don't worry, Sev. We're going to figure it out. Lane's going to write the book.
You're right. It's just the implications of an Ark being smuggled out. Was someone trying to reverse engineer how they were built? And if so, who?
The best way to put those worries to bed is to keep searching.
Sola, Lane, what are you reading?
This one strikes a good balance. Sharper than you'd think.